Hello, everyone. Oh, this is oh, this is Hyper Turtle. I've got some FSL replays to show you. Here, one moment. Got to get you hyped up here.
What have you done?
Kerrigan, the die you cast. This is the last day. Your swarm darkens the sky of any planet.
Forget Minsk. Forget all of it.
When we are done here, I will return to my people and accept their judgment.
Command, we've found Kerrigan. She's holed up in a Zerg base.
I made my peace long ago.
Consider it done. For hire. Indeed.
And there you have it. We are ready for a nice night of, well, replays. We've got one match that had to be played when we weren't broadcasting, and they sent us the replay. And then we've got another that was played while we were broadcasting, but the only point of view we saw was one KJ Freedoms. So I'm going to be bringing those up right now. We're going to be starting with Haki versus Freedom. All right. In the upper right, we have our purple Zerg player. He is
Freedom.
And in the lower left, we have our green Terran. He is
Hockey.
And away we go. We have the classic Terran versus Zerg matchup. Server is in Singapore for this match. Well, I can't vouch for that. They just sent me the replay. But we have an Overlord moving across the map. Here. This is a best of 3. Okay. Little chat about the about the connection. Even if I wasn't lagging, it wouldn't help me. LOL. Oh, Frieden. Don't defeat yourself before your opponent has a chance to, man. Okay, good. We have equal lack of confidence. This should make for a good game. Spawning pool's down. Barracks is already completed, and we have a Reaper on the way. And it looks like we're going to be starting up the command center in just a moment. 420 minerals, 430, 430. There we go. And the Overlord is looking from above. I'm curious exactly what the does Frieden play random? Maybe he does. I don't know. If he does, then there's definitely more chance of proxies than there are with a standard Zerg. Still no harm looking around, aside from lost mining time. Factory on the way. Have 4 Zerglings getting ready to hatch. And a Reaper ready to welcome them. Oh, and look at that. Look at that. Frieden does manage to get the drone away. Morphs it momentarily. And the Reaper does get a Zergling kill. There's the Queen. And you can bet she's going to have something to say about that harassment. Still, there are more than one ways to get into the base, but as you see, we got Zerglings ready to welcome him. Zergling speed on the way. Back home, we do have a bunker up, just in case. You can never be too careful in this neighborhood. KJ's unit's lost in a blaze. I'm not sure what Matheson's take on this is. I think Matheson is based on KJ's StarCraft, so I don't know that it would actually be watching the same game as you and I are right now. Welcome to anyone who is watching, by the way. The Reaper does manage to sneak in. Lair on the way, Starport on the way. Oh, and look at that, look at that. Drone does go down, thanks to a handy grenade and some good target firing. Reaper lives to fight another day. Gonna be healing up momentarily, I think. Yep. That flashing means the combat drugs are in play. Oh, but look at that. Gets a little bit too comfortable, and the Zerglings catch it off guard. Medevac on the way, Stim on the way, Evolution Chamber, and a Roach Warren on the opposing side. And here we have some Zerglings just checking to see whether an expansion has landed yet. Base is beautifully connected. Creep is moving along. And we do have a Spire along with the Roach Warren, so I'm curious what they're going to be going for. I've been playing a lot of Zerg lately myself, so if I wasn't so busy controlling the observer interface, I'd probably be taking notes. What else we got? Most of what we're seeing is Techian from the Terran. Ooh, but we do have a medevac full of mines. Zerglin sees it, Overlord sees it just for extra measure, so they know something's coming. There is a Zerglin guarding each of the potential expansions. Well, not actually the third, but there is an Overlord keeping an eye on it. And there's a hotkey that allows me to just follow a unit without having to scroll myself, but I completely forgot what it is. 4 mutas on the way. And just Spore Crawler also in production. So there is detection available. Ooh, mine's burrow. I don't see anything being pulled. Ouch, 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 ouch. Alright, medevac does go down, so, and the mines are going to get cleared up too. But that was a good number of drones, I think, that were taken out. Right now we got 5 mines and 9 marines versus 5 mutas and a few Zerglings. So here we go. I don't see any missile turrets up, so just these few mutalisks, 5 of them I guess, are going to be able to do quite a bit. Of course their attacks are bouncing between the workers. The marines drive them away, but all that means is they can just fly over the ledge into the lower ground. Siege tank on the way, that's not going to do any good against mutalisks though. Missile turret is going to get done over there fairly soon, but they do get in the way of another. Marines chasing back and forth, back and forth. Now there is a Widow Mine somewhere. Here. I think I just have to click on it. Oh, that's still back in the Zerg base. Alright. Alright, Mutalisks do heal a little bit faster, and they're not too hurt anyway. 3 of them left. Now, I gotta say, Frieden, 7.5 minutes into the game, honestly, neither of these players really have the worker counts that a lot of people would like to have. Frieden is on 3 bases, but barely any saturation in the 3rd. And there we go. The minesweeping always takes some effort. Oh, and it does manage to, with its dying breath, get a nice little punch right in the face of that poor queen. God save her. Oh, a little bit of an oversaturated refinery there. So there's quite a few SCVs just waiting in line. Over here, though, we have a Marine drop, and I think they're actually going to take out the hatchery. We do have a transfuse. Hatchery does go down. Mutalisks are chasing after the Marines and getting some extra shots in on the medevac. They back up. Looks like they get pretty much cleared out, but the damage is done. That was not a hatchery that Frieden was in a good place to lose. Haki is ahead, 25 supply. Medevac is about to... Oh, no. The medevac actually does live to evacuate another day. One of the tanks siege. We've got a pretty good number of infantry here. 41 worker supply. We just got Frieden putting a lot more army supply down, but we do have a bit of a worker lead here. Marines marching from over there, marching from over here. We got siege tank support. I don't know what Frieden really has to counter this. Mostly just some roaches. I don't think those Mutalisks are going to do very well on defense. I mean, he's going to try, though. And here we go. Roaches backed into a corner, but stemmed Marines. Attacks going down. Mutalisks all go down, and we have a GG. Alright, that was an interesting first game. Very low econ on both sides. But I think that hurt the Zerg a lot more than the Terran, especially after those Widowmine drops. And we are going to get into the second match in just a moment. In the upper left, this time as Protoss, we have in the purple
Frieden.
and his opponent. Up 1 game, the Green Terran he is.
Hockey.
Hockey, boldly displaying the clan logo. I'm trying to remember, I believe that's Anito is the is what that's the flag of, little group of his. Now Frieden is, I believe, playing random. I forgot that the first game, but we might see a very different performance from him depending on what race he rolls each time. Got the low ground, well, the natural wall barracks, and he is going double barracks. This is very popular right now. There's a lot of debate going on about exactly what the best place to go from 2 barracks is and how to counter it. And he should have seen that probe, meaning he should know that... Oh, and the probe, because there's a complete wall and it was right-clicked into the base, it is trying to find the long way around Brood War style, but yeah, it's just going to take a peek up there. Cybercore on the way. We have an SCV chasing him around because there's nothing scarier than a probe. Probe can do all kinds of mischief, and With him heading into the upper right, I'm curious if he's going to try to put down a proxy or a hidden expansion. I think he's just going to hang out there. Gamers, if you're told to touch grass, let them know that you can actually probe the grass if you are playing as the correct race. And there goes the Reaper looking around for anything suspicious. It's not a vulture, it's an Urubu. Vultures are hover bikes. And we have a pretty early Twilight Council here. So I think Frieden probably has a pretty good idea about what he wants to do. Alright, gateway blocked, whether he was intending to or not. Oh, Stalker sends that Reaper packing pretty quickly. We do have a second Reaper to join him. Hanging out, giving him supportive advice as he heals. And a third, so that's what he's doing. Multi-Reaper, very popular off 2 barracks. Hacky has started his expansion. Frieden has not yet, so I think we're going to see a lot of grenades going down here. Well, actually taking his time, one at a time, so that Stalker spends as much time just bouncing around in the air as possible. And I think he's in a position where he could actually do some damage. Yeah, look at this. There's some probes chasing them around. They actually are getting some hits in here and there, but they are joined by Reaper, by a replacement of Reaper number 3, and this is this is not the way you want to start. These Reapers causing a lot of damage, quite a few worker kills, and you know, this is happening even earlier than those Widowmine attacks did last game. Stalker does lead the charge to take it away, although one of the Reapers is still alive, and if it goes untouched for long enough, it will... Okay, it will not start to heal. That Reaper is no more. F's in the chat if anyone's chatting today. Now, in the meantime over here, we do have a Dark Templar, which was the reason for that early Twilight Council. This could spell trouble. He's just starting another orbital. And the other does, you know, he knows of the possibility. He is keeping some energy ready for a scan. And there we go. The Marines, you know, bump into something passing them. They might not know what, but I think they know right now. Alright, we have a lot of workers fleeing for their lives. There goes the scan, but that was kind of early. There's no attack units in range, so that Dark Templar can just step outside where the detection is. No engineering bay yet. No engineering bay means no turrets. However, despite sending all those workers fleeing, Heki does still have a considerable worker lead after the work that those Reapers got done. Yep. Doing what he can to sandbag the progress of the Dark Templar that's outside. And this, very clever. He does enough damage to the refinery that it starts to burn. And here we go. He does not have a lot to answer this with. He does take down one of the Dark Templar. And with the amount of gas that Frieden is mining right now, he cannot replace those Dark Templar very quickly. And there you go. The refinery does finish burning. And we have a Dark Templar chasing these guys around. I'm live on Team Liquid. Okay, yeah, I gotta let you know ahead of time. Alright, let's see. The missile turret is... It can't last long, and those 3 Dark Templar make short work of it. There is a second one, but that one goes down too. And that's the thing. He's got Dark Templar in multiple places here, so... That renders the scans a little bit less effective. You can't... Oh boy. He can detect it, but what can he do with it? Right now, we are low economy, low army. 9 army supply to 6, and 23 workers to 15 supply. So this is about as scrappy as it gets. However, we've got that orbital command being forced to lift off. It cannot scan while it's in the air. And it does have enough energy for one scan, but he has to be very decisive about when he uses it. Charge being researched, and I think that, yeah, that barracks is gonna burn. Now, despite all of this, Heki still has double the workers, which, wait, no, sorry, Frieden has it. Heki has double the army. And look at it, just stepping outside the circumference of that scan. Dark Templar doing what they do best. Invisible destruction. We do have a missile turret in the main mineral line. But look at this. Despite all the workers that Frieden lost before, he is now 12 workers ahead. And, oh, he'd better do something about that barracks. It is kind of on fire. He does notice it. Right now, I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise that he only has one base to defend. It's a lot easier to keep the detection available for one than two. But in the meantime, knowing the time of invisibility might be nearing an end, we have a bunch of charge lots coming. They will be joining the party. However, fighting invisibility with invisibility, we do have quite a few Widow Mines. And we do not have an armory right now. That means that when those Widow Mines fire, they will become very, very visible. Right now, Frieden is getting very close to being at double supply. Those, yeah, he does see those lines. Oh, still does quite a bit of damage. Widow Mines hidden here and there and everywhere. However, what there is not is anything that can heal infantry. 31 supply to 61. Frieden is double, so he can try to push the advantage, but right now I think he realizes that he can just contain his opponent and start teching up. We do have a Templar Archives up and running. And a third, so he's short on options. I mean, he's staying where it's safe right now, but as he's doing that, his opponent is pushing the lead and also able to just hop in, do some damage, back away, and let the shields recharge. Oh, look at this. The workers being pulled. Also starting to run a little bit lower on minerals on top of that. Frieden in a very comfortable position as Protoss right now. And, here, upgrades. There is no Psionic Storm, although just the fact that those Templars are there are going to force Heki to be fairly careful. I know what you're thinking. Oh, no, Storm is beginning to research, so... what we're seeing right now is a vice that is closing tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and then kind of swirling around, that kind of thing. My point being that there's not much Heki can do right now, but the longer he doesn't do anything, the more Frieden is just going to keep building up in tech, army, and economy, the three deadly factors of this match. And look at the shields gradually recovering as the units are out of combat. And he is very comfortable right now. He's got a huge economic advantage, 53 workers to 16, so he can afford to take some chances here. And right now this isn't even that much of a chance. Oh, and there's that storm. There's that storm that he now has, and we have a GG tie in this matchup. Very different match that time, and it wasn't just because Frieden ended up with a different race. And I gotta give it to Frieden too. That Dark Templar play really saved him. He was behind. Those Reapers did a lot of damage to his economy early on. Dark Templar can do a lot of damage too, though. And we will now move on. Once again, Frieden is random against the Terran player Haki. Speaking of which, in the upper left, the random purple Terran player, he is
Frieden.
And also what he is probably going for a very serious proxy cheese. But in the meantime, the green Terran. His opponent is
Haki.
So these SCVs taking the long way around, probably to avoid detection. Now the side that they're on does not require a lot of jumping, so we might be looking at Marines. Reapers are also possible, but he has not taken a gas yet. Like he's got his barracks in a more traditional spot. Third barracks is now building. Frieden not afraid to be a little bit cheesy, although in the previous two matches, he was the one who, took the biggest first punches. And we have an SCV scout. He is going to be making a Reaper on top of that. The SCV is just looking around to see if there's something, well, something like this. Unfortunately, he is looking in the opposite direction of where the cheesery is. There we go. Purple SCV checking things out, sees things pretty normal. But because Haki is looking for cheese, he's not actually going to check out the main base. That's one of the rough decisions you got to make with your initial scout. Had Haki sent the SCV straight to his opponent's base, he would have seen the lack of the barracks, even though he only just now sees the barracks. So that's the judgment call you got to make. Oh, and we have, not surprising, immediate cancel. Right now we have 5 Marines versus 1 Reaper. Granted, the Reaper might be a little bit more sustainable as it can back up and recover. SCV is moving out, running repairs, trying to build up a barracks. We do have 1 Marine on the way. He does not have any add-ons on his buildings. SCVs are getting in the way of each other a little bit. Only one of them was able to actually reach that supply depot, and I think Hakim may be finding himself a little bit outnumbered right now. We are pulling the boys, but then thinking better of it. Only one of them actually attacking. SCVs try for the surround, don't quite pull it off. We have 2 Marines in the bunker right now, and the SCV is ready to repair at a moment's notice. But that also allows the Marines to go after the worker line. Not that the worker line's actually working right now. Orbital Command is moving away. Haki placing a lot of his bets on luring this infantry into this Widow Mine. But it had better be a good shot, because right now Frieden's got the supply lead, and his workers back home are mining. Haki's are not. Frieden, of course, ended up rolling different races each match. And he just has his fingers crossed so much. The Marines clump up and walk really close to this mine. They will get that visual indicator, though, once they do get close. Factory burning. SCVs are repairing it. He's going to be running out of money before long, though. There you go. One mule is mining from the expansion. Expansion done by necessity, but there also are no supply depots left, so he can't build anything until a lot more of the... Ooh! Not a bad mine hit, but also, I mean, it's not going to turn things around. We have a 20 supply lead for Frieden right now. Surrounded on either side, and look at this. Look at this manor engineering bay. Making sure that the orbital does not land in its original spot. The surround is here. We're going to have more dead Marines, but I'm sure Frieden is just fine with that right now. This is just Hacky clinging for short-term survival. He does manage to put the boots to one worker. The other one, oh nope, he's going to kill him just out of principle. But in the meantime, Hecky is running out of structures. He's got a couple of SCVs and a mule doing mining, but in the meantime, yeah, here, look at this is a little bit of desperation on behalf of this Reaper, but he might as well. He's got nothing else to do, so now this better be the most hero Reaper of all time. This better be a Reaper. I'm trying to remember the name of the Reaper who's a mercenary in co-op for Tychus's group, and it's completely escaping me. But this Reaper better be that one, complete with these little charges that he can put that blow up all kinds of things. This is interesting, though. This is the issue with proxy. The unit production is pretty far from the home base, but I don't know if this Reaper can really take on all of... Look at this, look at this. There's a welcome party at the bottom of that cliff right now. And I think this Reaper is going to be gradually running out of options. But he does what he does best. He just keeps on moving, and look at... Oh no, oh no. They do not have stems, so... And the Reaper has those grenades, so... We see a very heroic attack, followed by a very heroic escape. Frieden doesn't have the lead that he did before, but it's still quite a lead. It's still double the supply that Hacky has, but this is very much... Oh, surrounded! That Reaper... I admire him. I admire him, and I mourn his passing. We do have some more mines back here. So, well, Hacky is... Frieden completely crippled Hacky, but Hacky is showing himself to be very difficult to finish off. I mean, honestly... This is more kind of slowing the inevitable, I think, but you know, Hacky is just that classic Terran, you know the kind, all the way back to 1988. That Terran who you've clearly beaten, but who flies his buildings in every single direction, lands them occasionally, makes some more units, does some more mining. This is a true Terran, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kind of Terran who is going to force you to stay up a lot later than you wanted to. And we have a barracks up on high ground. I guess it is safer there. Next to this blocking engineering bay. nothing in production right now from Heki. But in the meantime, you know, we have a factory being built. I guess yeah, I think that's his first factory. I don't think he had one before. And in the end, we just have the problem. We have 26 SCVs mining on one side of the map and 8 on another. And that side of the map where they were doing their mining is once again under siege and not repairing the barracks. They were just sitting there. I don't think it would have changed the outcome of this battle, but they were not repairing that. And look at this. Now this is Terran, man. No air units yet for Frieden. And I want to know if Heki is actually going to force them to destroy the last building. We have a command center flying off into the purple sunset on dragon scales. And that barracks will be joining it. You know, I guess I'd hesitate to call this match action-packed at the moment. I'm loving it. I am loving it. This brings back so many memories of my very, very early days, even before the Brood War expansion came out. And look at this. Look at another Hero Reaper. Another Hero Reaper destroying everything it can. We have a Terran who is clinging on, and win or lose, he is going to give his random opponent a migraine. Oh man, I wish this was live. I would love to have both of them on camera right now. Reaper typically does not counter siege tank, although if the tank does siege, he can get close enough to he can't blast it, but I think Frieden knows that, you know, even if he's primarily random. And hey, check this out. Little mine burrowed there too. It's like, you know, he ain't Zerg, but this is still an infestation. You stomp your foot down in one place, it goes through walls in another. Oh, wow. Very good control on the mine. Picking it up so it doesn't well, didn't waste its attack on one SCV, but it did on another. And still no armory, so you do not get to keep those Widow Mines invisible. Interestingly enough, Frieden is still keeping the barracks right where they were, and honestly, not going out of his way to scour the map for his opponents. But he does finally have a starport. And, you know, one Viking could probably get a lot of work done. So, I had some free time. Oh! Marauder does find the hidden base. But the hero or mercenary Reaper for Tychus Findley's co-op army is named Crooked Sam. And yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is what we did back in the day. I don't see it that often anymore. But yeah. Always the corner. Always flying off into the corner. Heki... yep. I was just going to say, he has enough resources to build something, not another command center. And as long as that orbital stays alive and intact, the other buildings aren't going to be revealed. Goes ahead, gets ready to plop it right down again. We have, how many is this? He has 7 SCVs right now. One of them is over here building. And yeah, here's that, here's Crooked Sam. They don't come much more crooked than this. Is he gonna... Is he... Oh! Factory discovered before it completes. He can cancel that, but he'll only get 3/4 of his money back. And here we go, here we go. Battle Cruiser. Battle Cruiser, the ultimate Terran answer to the ultimate Terran retreat. And Frieden. Frieden playing one map with each race finally comes out victorious in a fairly one-sided but yet still aggravating match. All right. Okay, gotta catch my breath here. But we are going to move on to a team match. And I did actually get around to looking up the team names finally, or figuring out where I put them. Here. Get everything ready. It is going to be Little Reaper and KJ Freedom, who together are known as Little Dom, against... I believe Deepu and Neutrophil, who are going by the name Churchill and his dentist. Let's see, Deepu. Alright. I think everything's ready to go. And here we are on the massive, gold-filled Fields of Death. In the... I just realized I wasn't updating the game counter last time, but regardless, at the bottom, we have the Purple Zerg. He is... and his teammate, the light blue Protoss, he is
Neutrophil.
And together, they are
Churchill.
or Churchill and his dentist anyway. We have some scouting going on already, but in the meantime, at the top, we have the Red Terran. He is
KJ Freedom.
and his teammate, who just got gas stolen, the Yellow Protoss. He is
Little Reaper.
and together, they are the team known as...
Little Dom.
So there you have it. The simulator there got cancelled. We have Little Reaper scoping around. And Neutrophil as well. So both of them have one player taking the pocket right now. Neither player moving ahead, but KJ Freedom is making a command center that is suspiciously close to the gold minerals. For tech, we got the standard stuff so far. General expansions. This is interesting. Usually in team games you have Zerg taking the forward expansions, but instead you have Neutrophil as Protoss taking the forward. Well, our friend Deepu takes the pockets. And we do have Neutrophil going Stargate attack. Deepu's Overlord. Wise to the tactics of a lot of this. I think he's going to check one of the gold bases. The thing is, there's a lot of gold on this map. As well as a couple of Zelnaga watchtowers right around some of the golds. Alright. Freedom loading the SCVs up. And thinking better of sending them over the gold just yet. Robo coming out on Little Reaper's side. Now, Little Reaper, when he gets a Warp Prism out, especially in team games, he can be a massive pain. We have Phoenixes on the way on behalf of Neutrophil. Deepu upgrading to Lair. And we have a helpful Marine chasing the Overlord away. Ow. 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 Ow! Alright, there you have it. Death of an Overlord. So, interesting. Deepu going straight to both Spire and Infestation Pit. Little Reaper, meanwhile, is going both Charge and Dark Templar attack. And what do we got? For the Phoenix count, we've just got 3 for the moment. There you go, the load up. What's he got in there? He has Zealots, and by the time he gets this Warp Prism to the enemy territory, they will have charge. Oh. And unfortunately, the Phoenixes will not be there to do anything about it, too. More Phoenixes on the way, as well as Blink getting started. And we have the Warp In. Zealots racing right into the enemy workers, then deciding, hey, is Artosis' name on this pylon? Meanwhile, on the other side, we have some Phoenixes getting chased around by Marines. We do have Adepts, Phoenixes, and Stalkers back home, but maybe not in sufficient numbers. At least not just yet. So the action pretty much drawn back to Churchill and his dentist's side of the map. Yep, lot depowered. They do not quite manage to take the Nexus out, thankfully. But in the meantime, we also have a lot of infantry heading over. Another gold base taken. This time on behalf of Churchill and/or his dentist. So we'll see how they deal with this. Right now, not a lot to defend on the low ground right now. They're at least going to be able to take out some workers. And then in the meantime, oh man, look at that. We have charge lots going straight for the Greater Spire, a very good target, and also driving the workers away from the Nexus again. Neutrophil left with very little choice but use probes for defense. And here we go. Bunch of units hopping in the medevac, so Little Dom, both those team members are all over the place right now. Oh, Neutrophil sees them though, but they can do well against the medevacs, but maybe not as much against the Marines. Oh, and here we go. Dark Templars. Attacking the spawning pool, more charge lots coming in. Little Reaper not exactly letting his opponents catch their breath. Nexus goes down. Medevacs dropping Marines, taking them from one side of the ravine to the other. This is just a lot of damage being done. We have Corruptors. They're going to do well taking out the transports. Maybe not as efficient against whatever gets dropped out of them, though. Oh, look at this. Marines and Marauders hitting. They get surrounded by the Zerglings. Medevacs will be able to pick them up, but we have Corruptors ready to clean up. However, meanwhile on the Protoss side of the base, though, more buildings being depowered, more buildings being destroyed. Phoenixes and Stalkers doing what they can to intercept. Oh, and we have Swarm Hosts. Not all was used for defense, but this is going to be handy. They do save the spawning pool and allow it to be completed. Meanwhile, lots and lots of Zerglings. They find the ramp pretty well guarded, however. Still, I think there was at least some friendly fire there. And the Swarm Host. There is not a Nidus network available right now, so they just walk across the map on all fours. And if they're clever about this, they might be able to actually cause a lot of chaos. Infantry is down on the bottom. The Locusts land right on the ramp, while the Stalkers take advantage of the infantry being drawn away. We have Little Reaper with quite the gateway explosion going. Corruptors, unfortunately, hung out with a missile turret without dropping any caustic spray on it. These Marines are actually doing quite a bit of nice anti-air damage with the Swarm Hosts recharge their Locust eggs. Missile turret placed very conveniently, but down on the other side of the map we have more charge loss, just destroying everything they can. Right now we're down. Neutrophil does not have a lot of structures left. Chaos going on both sides of the map, Zealots hitting on one, Locusts hitting on the other. Pretty sure there's a lot of shared control going on here, because it's very hard to turn your attention to two places at once. We have a Mutalisk doing what it can to soften up the Zealots anyway. Right now, this is... How many? This is 28 Swarm Hosts on the map right now. Meanwhile, there's a lot of Zealots too, but those Zealots are going to kind of come and go. They're going to have to be replaced a lot. So, Neutrophil, 38 supply and supply blocked. We have Little Reaper bringing some Stalkers back home. But each time these Swarm Hosts recharge, there's a lot of Locusts that are going to come out of them. Deepoo, throughout all of this, is at 130 supply, compared to 90, 52, and 30. And, I mean, yeah, the Dark Templar are actually going to be able to do something here, but it's going to take them a while. Back home, the Mutalisks are being used to at least gradually clean up all these Zealots. And, I guess hopefully clean up the warp prisms that they're popping out of. It is still alive right now. Here we go. More and more Locusts. However, I mean, there's not a lot of anti-air coming from Little Reaper. Still, I mean, if they're going to go to the other side of the map, they're not going to be defending back home. "17 Zealots. And Deepu down to just 23 Swarm Hosts, but that's still a lot of Swarm Hosts. Meanwhile, they're teaming up with these Mutalisks. However, those Mutalisks taking some really bad mine hits. And they are not free like the Locusts are. Alright. Deepu taking advantage of Burrow, just like in the old days. Zealots still all over the place. Deepu taking a hidden base. KJ Freedom taking a base out and about. All of Neutrophil's remaining buildings revealed, and it's not many of them. And I do not think there is a lot of good detection available. Swarm hosts do not have to unburrow to launch Locusts, by the way. Meanwhile, the cleanup continues. Deepu does not have a lair, so he cannot turn any of his overlords into overseers for detection. And his spawning pool is about to go down too. So we have all the players a little bit crippled, although none more than Neutrophil, who right now has 2 Stalkers total. That is everything he has. He does not have any other units or structures. However, I mean, taking out a big group of Zealots using a Mutalisk, okay, we have a surrender. Like I said, there's more damage that would have happened there. Very, very odd match. Alright, let's move on to map 2, which will be Emerald City. A little bit more straightforward of a map there. In the lower right, we have the blue Zerg, and he is and his partner, the pink Protoss. He is
Neutrophil.
And together they are
Churchill Dentist.
there you go. And their opponents, up one map. In the upper left, we have the yellow Protoss. He is
Little Reaper.
and his teammate, the red Terran. He is
KJ Freedom.
and together, they are
Little Dumb.
So what do we have so far? Not much. Overlord's looking around. Little Reaper taking his natural. And Neutrophil starting out with one gate with another on the way. LUL. Is that laughing underlap? I don't know. Alright, so some good old-fashioned worker fights, but they both think better of it. We have Deepu, double expanding. That fairly straightforward. Curious when Neutrophil's going to be taking his expansion then. Oh, there we go. Neutrophil is taking the gold base. Susan. And, alright, what did I just miss there? Oh, Adepts. Adepts that chose not to shade. Here's the bunker, yeah. So, Little Dom ready to defend, Churchill and his dentist. Going pretty economic. There we go, Adepts. Adepts just kind of tickling the nexus, so to speak. Widowmine going under, drilling down. But Adepts have this little thing called Shade, so they move past it. They do not complete the Shade, but oh wow, the Widowmine did get one of the Adepts. But in the meantime, Neutrophil did get a look around within the base. No recalling here. Those probes are hoofing it all the way. We do have a robotics support bay, not a robotics facility. Down on behalf of Little Reaper. Possibly more Warp Prism play. But on the other side, we have a Nidus network. So, last match, those Swarm hosts were just walking the whole way. But if he goes that direction again, which it sure looks like it will, like he will with the infestation pets, yeah, I'm guessing we're going to be seeing some Nidus Swarm host, maybe with the Overlords spotting for them. Oh, and load up. Little Reaper with 4 Zealots being carried. And charge. A little over halfway done. Medevac at the same time, so I think they want to hit 2 different places at once. But in the meantime, we also have a Nidus Worm ready to pop out. Stalkers momentarily scare some of the probes away, but not for long. And those Stalkers have the high ground, Anakin. Here we go. Locust about to sprout. Flying over the chasm and diving in. 1 worker, 2 worker, 3 workers, 4 workers, 5 workers, 6 workers. But speaking of workers, we've also got Zealots attacking from the other side. Looks like they want to focus on the Nidus network. The Swarm hosts do come out the other side there. As if they hadn't, they would have been eliminated from the game, since both the entrance and the exit were gone. Right now, those Swarm hosts can't do anything. They have to wait for their eggs to recharge. And between everything, including some workers, they're gradually cleaning up the Zealots. However, now they also have to clean up the mines, which they do. Little Reaper intent on destroying that, Wait, what? Is Depu... I think Depu's accidentally attacking his own, his own spawning pool. Fortunately, he did stop in time. Stalker's warping in, ready to take care of these Widow Mines. Not a lot of loss there, although we do have a couple more Widow Mines drilling down in the Zerg Natural, and we have about 5 drones killed. And here we go, focusing on the new Nidus network. Very wise, just going in there and preventing Depu from getting the strategy. And I think he might have actually lost all but one of his Swarm hosts in that, all but 2. Meanwhile, Neutrophil with fairly good number of stalkers, makes his way across. Little Reaper has a pretty small army. He is mostly warping in zealots just for them to die, or not zealots. We got Dark Templar here. Meantime, though, we also have stalkers on the other side of the map. A few of them get their armor softened up. And I don't think this Nexus is going to make it. Alright, no cannons over here, so he's going to have to get some attack units and an observer. Well, here come the attack units anyway. We're going to have to see. There's the observer to the rescue. Observer does the observing that it does best. And the Dark Templar are eliminated, and we have another Nidus Worm about to burst forth. Swarm hosts being careful, not going to the Nidus network until just as the Nidus Worm's about to pop out. Now, they're actually coming out a little bit of a jog from any buildings they can target. The Reaper, meanwhile, yep, again with the Zealots. And KJ Freedom is sending his infantry and medevacs out. Do they have all 4 M's? Yes, they do. Medevac, Marine, Marauder, and Mine. But little do they know, there's some swarming going on. Alright, infantry manages to take the high ground. However, due to the warp in, they're quickly surrounded. Could potentially do some damage, but they're heavily outnumbered. Now, Neutrophil does have Blink, but going a little bit too far. And there's a Raven as well. Back home, however, KJ lost Command Center. Marines moving around everywhere. Little Reaper, his Zealots did take the long way. They did not have a Warp Prism, but they do get quite a bit of work done in the gold mineral lines. Neutrophil and one of Deepu's queens manages to drive the medevacs away. Neutrophil coming in, seeing if he can clean up the Zealots with these adepts. And we have another Nidus Worm about to pop. The other one wasn't eliminated either, so that's a potential place for them to pop out in the future. Little Reaper just wave after wave after wave of Zealots. And what do we have here? Are they going to go for the natural or for the golds? The Marines are moving forward, but they'd be taking on free units, and they don't want to do that. Dark Templar, meanwhile, can at least eliminate some of the locusts with impunity. Not about a bout of damage for a bunch of free units, though. One of KJ Freedom's Widow Mines just kind of sitting here quietly, escaping notice. And KJ doing quite a bit of mining from the golds. Deepu is aware that that gold's being mined, though. That Nidus Worm was eliminated. Go. Infantry deciding to focus on defending that gold. When a Little Reaper's Stalkers managed to push the Overlord away, but is able to become an Overseer. But over here, yeah, we got a Nidus Worm that the infantry did not see spawning. With Nidus Worms, you end up having to try to keep your eyes everywhere. There are some hints, like, you know, you got stereo headphones. You can tell where they're coming from. To kind of tell a little bit of what direction they're coming from. Meanwhile, however, this is a bit of a fake out. The swarm hosts sneak around the back corner, lay their eggs. Mines take out some of them, but not all of them. Forcing a liftoff. We have more Zealots beating on the third hatchery. They do get eliminated. KJ Freedom is taking the corner, keeping it nice and secret. And we have another Nidus coming out. Non-stop Nidus Worms, non-stop Zealot and Dark Templar warp ins, depending which side you're on. Either way, this is a lot to deal with. Got to be ready for damage to come from anywhere. Hatchery does go down. Oh, got some nice storms and feedbacks there. There we go. Little Reaper's Dark Templar continuing to do damage. Might even force a cancel if he's not careful. In the meantime, we have Locust forcing a lift off of the orbital. KJ lands a mule to try to repair it. And it pays off big time. Just barely saves it. And what is that? What is that hiding in the foliage here? It is a raven. 33 swarm hosts during this match right now, even more than last time. Meanwhile, just 8 Reapers. I mean, the Reapers don't stick around long. They do their damage, then they have to be replaced. But Neutrophil, with a pretty good army coming in just as the Locusts are about to expire. I think he might even be able to get some storms in here. Or maybe he won't even need to. Oh, there we go. Zealots gradually getting cleaned up back home. And we do have a Dark Templar on hold position. Nidus Worm now spawning within the base. And yeah, we've got Little Reaper and KJ Freedom supplies in the 40s and 50s. Whereas Depu, 179, Neutrophil 122. They're in a much better position than they were towards the end of last game. Stalkers and Immortals shooting things down. Another storm. These Marines and mines have to go through that choke point in order to actually damage anything. But in the meantime, look at all the swarm hosts. 41 swarm hosts, each of them able to lay 2 locust eggs. Still got that that Dark Templar standing guard with no detection getting close to it, but doesn't look like it's going to matter. We have the GG. The game is tied. All right. Once again, go into game 3. And boy, the damage doesn't stop coming from either side between these teams. Non-stop Zealots, non-stop Locusts, and that time, that Stalker Immortal army able to close things out. Last map of the last match. This time on Roscallion. The team of Little Dom versus the team of Churchill and his dentist. Getting the score here. Best of 3. In the upper left, we have the Blue Zerg tying things up with a ridiculous number of swarm hosts. We have and his teammates, the Pink Protoss. We have
Neutrophil.
And together they are.
Churchill Dentist.
And in the lower right, we have the yellow Protoss. He is called
Little Reaper.
And his teammate, the red Terran he is.
KJ Freedom.
Together they are the team of
Little Dumb.
Alright. Intro's out of the way. Have Little Reaper building close to the Nexus. Standard stuff so far. Zerg takes expansion. And we have a Cybernetics core going down for Little Reaper. If this is anything like previous games, Little Reaper will probably want to get the robotics facility out as soon as possible. SCV looks like it's getting ready to put a command center down. Neutrophil's probe. Seeing if he can make him think twice, but there we go. What do we have? Well, we have a probe from Little Reaper, seeing if he can... Well, he delayed the third hatchery a little bit. Deepu definitely favoring fast expands, getting up to 3 hatcheries as quickly as he can. The build-up continues. Okay. We have a factory proxied on the right as a Reaper gets chased away. But, yes, no clear path there, so this is probably going to be a Widowmine drop as soon as the starport is available. But, oh, no, that's just a Overlord. Reaper still alive. Very good control on behalf of KJ. Robotics facility is down on both sides from their respective Protosses. Interestingly, Deepu and Neutrophil both fairly ahead in supply. There's that Reaper. There's also a back door can go up, but as you can see, we got a couple Zerglings with something to say about that. However, he can hop up here too. Queen drives him away. There's that starport, so most likely we're going to have a medevac just swing by and pick up mines on the way. Stalkers on behalf of Neutrophil. Spire coming up for... Aren't you supposed to go there? Well, Spire being built from Deepu. Is that it? Huh. Interesting place for it, right at the ramp. There's Little Reaper. Sending one of his sometimes annoying warp prisms out. This adept from Neutrophil sees the proxy factory. Warp prism moving about. We have stalkers and a sentry heading out to see what they can clean up. KJ lays a mine at one of the expansions. Little Reaper getting the zealots ready to go. And the Queen takes the hit. Does not eliminate it in time. That is such an unusual place to put a Spire. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but unusual. And here we go. Deja vu all over again, just like the first 2 games. Yellow Zealots flooding all over the base. Going after the spawning pool. Deepu is wise to it, immediately puts another one down. We have a Reaper chasing an Adept around. I don't see that every day. The lair does go down, so Deepu is going to have to morph a hatchery into a new lair. Here come the Mutalisks. We got 4 of them out now. So he's probably going to have to invest pretty heavily in Muta at the moment. Oh! More mines. Ow-wee. That mine not quite eliminated either, as it kills the Queen. Queen goes down, and here comes that Warp Prism again. This is much like the previous matches. Little Dom are going to team up and try to hit as many places as they can. Stalker versus Muta, not a good matchup, but the Mutas can escape pretty easily. And then on this side, we have Neutrophil once again, seeing if he can get rid of the proxy. More Zealots being warped in, however. And going over the spawning pool, which was already taking damage just by being off creep. The Mutalisks doing what they can to clean up. I think they will save it, and pretty soon the creep's gonna come out and start expanding again. Neutrophil as Adept, I think just keeping vision for when more Warp Prisms or Medivacs go around. Little Dom as a team are definitely favoring drop play. Meanwhile, Deepu up to 12 Mutalisks, so he's a point where even if they're not very good in the straight-on fight, they can swoop in anywhere they want, do a bunch of damage, and then leave and heal. Here comes another Warp Prism, in danger of flying right over the Stalkers. It does, it goes down. Little Reaper posturing with the Zealots and the Stalkers. And we got even more Mutalisks on the way. These Mutalisks are intimidating, but I don't know, just a good mine hit or two could really do something. And here we go. Here we go, Little Reaper going with a whole Gateway army over here, moving in closer. KJ Freedom's infantry army electing to stay home and play defense. The factory is gone, but the starport remains. Oh, Little Reaper looking at sniping that Nexus, but there are Stalkers going from behind. Neutrophil doing a good job warping the damaged ones away, making sure that they're worth all the more money. And those Mutalisks hitting the mineral line. Once again, I mean, honestly, Stalkers don't do that great against Mutalisks. Mutalisks don't do that great against Stalkers, but Mutalisks are also a lot more, what do they call it? It's not papery. Spongy? No. Well, they don't survive long if they take a lot of damage. Mutalisks come in, utilizing the high ground, poking, getting some hits in, backing away again. We are up to 21 Mutalisks. I think when Deepu decides to go with the unit, he does not like to stop making them. He puts his foot on the gas and just produces and produces and produces. There we go. We got turret range researching. I think he realizes that these auto-sec tracking, I think it's called, but yeah, he realizes these Mutalisks are not going anywhere. They are going to keep coming. There's a Warp Prism up top, looking to probably snipe even more, get rid of more structures. Although with with Stalkers this time, but they do snipe yet another spawning pool, but there was already one that was almost completed. And here we go. One Stalker does find that proxy Stargate. And here we go. Mutalisk coming in, sniping down the Stalkers. Possibly going to go after the Warp Prism. Yep, I think they're going to catch it. Doing well with those moving shots. Little Reaper and KJ Freedom moving out. They've got a good amount of anti-air. However, no Thors. Thors are pretty nice if you want to deal with Mutalisks. Though mines aren't too shabby either. Oh, and here they are. Here they are, the Mutalisks. 35 Mutalisks. And he's doing a pretty good job keeping them alive, too. Oh, they are chasing down the workers. And he quickly hangs a U-turn, gets away from the infantry. And there's only one medevac to heal all those Marines and Marauders. And here we go. Stalker just gradually pecking away at the Tekla. Oh, nice mine hit. But yeah, just pecking away at the starport of the tech lab. 35 Mutalisks. Archons aren't too shabby against Mutalisks, although they're not great at chasing them down. And look at KJ Freedom, little trap here at the minerals. Let's see if it gets the Mutalisks. Oh, nope. Nope, thinks better of it. I think he noticed that there wasn't a lot to shoot down there anyway. And this is what the Mutalisks have to do. They have to try to find just some infantry that's a little bit ahead of the others. They don't want to take them head on. They want to just snipe a few and then back away. Right now, Deepu is at 170 supply, Neutrophil at 156, Little Reaper is only at 96, KJ Freedom just a little bit better off at 121. So, Churchill and his dentist have quite the supply lead right now. With, I guess Neutrophil favoring a mostly Zealot army, although he's getting more Archons and Templars going. I guess more for them right into Archons. Not a lot of upgrades. KJ has +1 attack, as does Neutrophil. Baneling speed being researched. With some Zerglings to support. There's so much gas that goes into... I think that must have been a mistake with the... yeah... accidental move. And those Mutalisks, too. Yeah, there's a good number of Arianists just flying right over those Archons, so... miscue. And there we go. Archons, Stalkers, and Zealots ripping apart this this hatchery. And thank you, Kieran Othin, with your raiding party. I appreciate the viewership. We're just watching a match from Friday of our FSL, our Fun Star League. So this is a casual tournament. Right now we got 2v2. Although, as casual as it is, one of the players is KJ Freedom, who, you know, this is his channel, and he is an owner of Psystorm Gaming. His son, Little Reaper, also joining in, and good storms, by the way. They've got the high ground. Look at all these, look at all of these Banelands, and they just got the rolling upgrade. Centrifugal hooks. So there's, between that and these storms, there is a very good amount of splash damage. Little Reaper is down to 66 supply, Freedom down to 109. And they are going to be closing in. I don't think there's much. Yeah, we have the GG. That is game. The team of Churchill and his dentist win 2-1. And let me see what we got right now. I think that's it for what we've actually got lined up. Kind of embarrassing since we just got a raid sent our way. I'm Hyper Turtle, by the way. I'm commissioner of the Fun Star League. So I'm doing some of the off days as well as doing casting and helping out with the hosting on the main days. And this Friday I might be doing one game. I might actually be doing two. So we will have to see how that goes. No, there's no one else lined up for either tournament or show matches. So we will be calling it a night. Thank you for everyone who's watching. Those who just got sent here for the tail end, well, catch us Friday evening if you're curious what this actually is going to be like. I am Hyper Turtle, and I'm signing off.